is CAT the only thing that can take you to your dream college and can help you make a career that you want to make? Absolutely not. Why otherwise would we have so many really good B school exams? My name is Ashish Chugh. Today we are going to dive deeper into SNAP, NMAT, CMAT and CET. We are also going to talk about some other ADMAT exams, but of course we will restrict the details to these. Let's take a look at what is going to be the agenda today. If you are aiming for MBA this year, please do not miss out on this video, because we can always think that, oh, only CAT. I'm not going to do anything else other than CAT, which is good, which is absolutely fine. But it is all about making a good career, getting good return on investment, and if CAT doesn't happen well, then you should have a couple of things to fall back. So let's not be egoistic. So let's take a quick look at significance and timeline of all these exams, right? So I have talked about MyCAT also, ZAT also, COET PG also here, but we are not going to go deeper into it. ZAT would have a separate video on that. You already know about that. MyCAT is very specific for somebody who wants to take admission to Mudra Institute of Communications Ahmedabad, which is MICA, and if you want to make a career in communications and marketing, right? So that's why I have also not gone deeper into it. And then CUET PG, that's sort of an exam which, if some good colleges take it, then of course this is something which is relevant, otherwise it is not. So this is what we are going to restrict ourselves to: NMAT, SNAP, CMAT and MHCET. Of course, these two exams will happen in 2025 for the 2025 intake only, and these exams will happen in 2024 for 2025 take, right? We'll talk about some numerical details with respect to the colleges and cutoffs, previous year cutoff, current cutoff, basically the expected ones and so on, whatever is available, whatever basically that can help you. And finally, we'll talk about strategy, because come on, isn't that why you are here? So be with me throughout this video. Not going to be a very long video, but it's going to give you a lot of interesting things, and feel free to ask any questions that you want to. So here is a quick timeline. Of course, last Sunday of November is CAT, which is 24th November this time. And somewhere around October, NMAT registrations also started, but this time October is not going to be that month, or was not that month, I would say, where NMAT exams happened, because this time NMAT started the slots from November, and it will go on till mid of December. Then of course we have SNAP, ZAT, CUET PG, CMAT, MyCAT, and this is what MHCET or MMSCET is. Again, the dates for these exams are not very well defined, so I have not really put any specific date on that, but this is more or less based on our understanding of it so far. If there is any change in these two exams, CMAT and MHCET, then I'm going to let you know that through some other video. So don't worry about it. Let's take a quick look at this, the myths. So CAT is the only test that can take you to a good B school? Absolutely not. If you don't get into IM, it's the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. All these are myths here. See, if you are paying 10 lakh rupees as fee, and if you are getting 12 lakh rupees as your starting CTC, it's a great deal. If you are paying 20 lakh rupee fees and you are getting 17 lakh rupee as CTC, that's also a great deal. Eventually, it all boils down to one idea, that you get good information, good knowledge, good college, good foot in the door, which means good organization and a great money. That's all. So definitely, one thing I would like to definitely say, that a lot of people think that ADMATs are quite easy to crack. They are equally difficult. Of course, the difficulty level might not lie in the complexity of the question, but in that case, the difficulty level lies in the competition, the time-bound competition. So for CAT, you have, for example, close to 2 minutes to solve every question. But in case of, say, SNAP, you might not have that, right? 1 minute per question. And if you also read and maybe take a bit of stretch here and there and so on, then it is not even 1 minute. So that's the thing you have to be aware of. So let's take a quick look at NMAT, Narsi Munji Aptitude Test, taken up by many colleges in country, specifically, of course, the Narsi Munji group. But of course, anybody who wishes to go for NMAT aims for the flagship campus, which is NMIMS Mumbai. Within the NMAT format, of course, these are the three sections that are talked about. Language skills, which has 36 questions that you have to do 28 minutes. So much for the time-bound test, isn't it? And this is the score range. What do I mean by score range? I'll talk about that. Quantitative skills, again 36 questions, 52 minutes for that. So this is where you have a bit of more time. Logical reasoning, 36 questions, 40 minutes, more or less 1 minute per question. So overall there are 108 questions, 120 minutes, and the range is 36 to 360. What do I mean by that range? NMAT exam is an adaptive exam. Adaptive exam. What do I mean by adaptive exam? There is no negative marking, and if you solve a question, if that question is correct, then the next question will be of higher difficulty level with higher weightage. If you solve a question incorrectly, then the next question will be of lower difficulty level with lower weightage. You will never know when you solve that correctly or not. The test also tests you on various other things, like this. When you quickly do some questions, you can be penalized if you have left questions in the end, or if you mark a lot of questions in the end and all of these questions are wrong. And of course, it is possible now that if you leave out a couple of questions initially, as in, you wait for a longer time on one question and then you quickly have to tick, 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 tick. There's a propensity that you might not be able to do that correctly. And the more wrong you do, the worse your score becomes. And that's why the range, 36 to 360. And within that also, let me tell you one more interesting thing. There is a sectional and overall cutoff that is required. Sectional and overall cutoff in terms of the raw score. So for example, now, just a random example, let's say that overall cutoff is 100 and there are 3 sections, and say the cutoff here is 34, 33, 33, right? 34, 33, 33. Overall, you actually get, say, 120 marks. Wow, way beyond cutoff. But here, you get only 33 marks. You're not going to get called from NMIMS. As simple as that. This is the power of sectional weightage. The other thing is that only the first attempt is valid for NMIMS. NMAT exam you can take, 3 times, but only your first attempt will be counted towards NMIMS. So those of you who are willing to go for NMIMS, you must take the exam when you are prepared. How will you do that? We'll talk about that later. Okay? Chaliye. This is the cutoff for 2023. I again would request you to pause the video. You can take a look at these cutoffs for various colleges, MBA in Mumbai, various courses actually, MBA HR and so and so and so on. And these are basically the other branches of NMIMS. But again, the flagship branch is of course Mumbai, and the flagship course is MBA, and all these other courses are not flagship courses. But then when we talk about MBA in Mumbai, MBA from NMIMS in Mumbai, then these are the cutoffs. So you can easily think that that's quite huge. 234 is a big score, isn't it? So how would you know when you should take your exam? Do mocks. When you reach this score, somewhere around this score, let's say you go somewhere around 200, 210 and so on, now you can decide when you want to take up your exam, so you can book a slot. And of course, you have to prepare till then, and then you should strive for this score, and of course, strive for crossing this. This is going to be the expected cutoff, which is no different anyway. So again, you can take a bit of pause here and you can just analyze that. Let's now talk about SNAP, Symbiosis National Aptitude Test. Symbiosis National Aptitude Test is for Symbiosis Group of Institutions. This is again 1 hour paper only, 60 questions in 60 minutes. General English 15, Analytical and Logical Reasoning 25 questions, Quant and Data Interpretation 20 questions, 1 mark for an answer, and you have minus 0.25, which means 1/4 is going to be the negative marking. Now in case of NMAT, there was no negative marking because it is an adaptive test. But this is not an adaptive test. So there is negative marking. And within that also you can take a look at the expected cutoff of 2024. 99.9%, 99.7% comes at around this score. Now why, I'm talking about this range. Here is why. SIBM Pune, which is the flagship college that offers their flagship program, requires this cutoff, 98. So if you have more than 98, there is a good chance that you might get a shortlist call from it, and of course you have to clear that later on with your interview round. The other good colleges, the SCM HRD, which is again in Pune, same campus. I think SCM HRD is basically on the lower ground, and SIBM is slightly on the Pahadi, right? As far as I know, so long ago I went there, so I'm not sure if something has changed. So these are the two colleges. That's why 98 and 97 percentile. And when you go to other colleges of the Symbiosis group, then suddenly the percentile drops. So even, I'm not saying that these are not good. They are all good, but of course there is something known as the IMs, and there is something known as the non-IMs. So this is sort of, you can say, the IMs of the SIBM group. Oh, SEMHRD group. Oh, sorry, SNAP group. Isn't it? And that is where you need to put your mind on, right? This is where I want to be. Excellent college for overall general MBA and definitely good for marketing and so on if you are willing to go into that. Let's take a look at CMAT. Interesting paper. 100 questions in 180 minutes, which means 3 hours. Now, again, these are the usual things that you have been seeing in various B school exams. This is another thing, general awareness, GK. Now, GK was part of a lot of B school exams way long ago, but then they started dropping it. In fact, I think SNAP was the last test that dropped it. In that also, GK is there, but it is not used for the percentile computation. So I'm just saying that GK has some relevance, but not too much of relevance, okay? Of course, if we are talking about 20 questions and there are 4 marks, which are correct, then if you are aiming for CMAT, definitely you should pay attention to GK at least in this exam, because if you're good at GK, it's really going to give you an edge. Then this interesting thing called innovation and entrepreneurship. Until 2021, when it was introduced, it was an optional one, which means 3 hours were devoted to these 4 sections. They had 25 questions each, and then you had 30 more minutes to do these 25 questions. But now it is not optional anymore, and they have reduced the number of questions also from 25 to 20 overall. So overall the questions are 100 only, right? Earlier it was 25, 25, 25, 25, and it was an optional one. If you want to take it, you can take it. If you don't want to take it, you don't want to take it. But now you have to do that. Now again, for this also, we have created a great 200-page book which can help you prepare for this. I'm going to talk about the resources later on towards the end of the video. So this is what it is about. 1/4 of the negative marking is there here as well. So a good thing. Now again, I have given you 2023, 2022 and 2021 cutoff. So even the 2024 cutoff can be similar to 2023. This is something you can easily assume. So 99.99, why I have given that? I'll tell you. 360, huge score. Then up to 99, it is 292. So there is a significant difference between 99 and 99.99, right? And that's where I said that it doesn't mean that there is no competition in NMAT exams. There is a significant competition. Okay. So why I have given you this thing? Because 320 plus score is required definitely for high level colleges that take CMAT exam. And these 2 colleges are SIMSRI and JBIMS. Both are in Mumbai. They require 99.9 sort of percentile and so on, and give you a great return on investment. Then 270 plus is required for other good colleges like Great Lakes, NIBM Pune, XISS, NL Dalmia Mumbai and so on. Which means if you are aiming to start your MBA career through CMAT, this is at least something you should aim. When I talk about 270 plus, basically I am talking about somewhere around 95 percentile and more. So when you are taking your mocks, prepare in this sense, okay? Analyze in that sense, strategize in this sense. Chali, let's go further. Let's talk about our final exam of today, which is CET. MHCET happens in Maharashtra. Happens across the country, but for colleges in Maharashtra. These are the 4 sections: logical reasoning, abstract reasoning, quantitative aptitude, verbal and reading comprehension. No GK here also. These are the number of questions. Again, we have 150 minutes to do these 200 questions. In this case, there is no sectional time limit. There is no sectional cutoff, and most importantly, there is no negative marking, which means, maybe, sometimes, maybe for a question or 2, guesswork might still work. So it will not be a bad idea for you to mark all the questions. Even if you are running out of time and so on, please definitely do that. Within that, again, the major colleges are again JBIMS and SIMSRI. So JBIMS and SIMSRI, they take CMAT score and MHCET score both, which means competition is significant there as well. Especially if I talk about, say, JBIMS, it has a domicile thing. So 85% seats are reserved for Maharashtrians, 15% are there for the people from outside of the Maharashtra. So you really have to get a good score, but then you can think of it as no less than IMS, right? So really amazing college. 99.99 percentile is required in this case. Even 99.98 or 99.97 also will not do. Basically, you have to be the topper in CMAT, sorry, CET, and of course in CMAT as well. Then for Sims 3, no less. And then these are some other really, really good colleges that take CET score and can give you a good return on investment. And all of them have a cutoff of more than 99%, right? Perfect. So what is going to be the prep strategy? This is why you are here. So I have divided prep strategy in two formats. One is for 2024 CAT takers. So if you are taking CAT right now, then how your preparation strategy should be. And if you are not taking CAT, then what your preparation strategy should be. Let's start with CAT 2024 takers. Of course, basically CAT preparation is going to take care of your core preparation as such, but then most important thing is that you start the college specific preparation. For example, you should start the NMAT specific prep once the notification is released, which means you should have started that in October. And another important thing is that mocks. Even if I say that CAT is the umbrella exam which takes care of all your other exams, but that is only at the conceptual level. But when we talk about the real-time testing, it is only mocks that are going to give you the edge, because every exam has different strategy because of the different pattern. So I generally say that 5 to 10 mocks minimum you should take. Minimum. Maximum, of course, you can take more. You should definitely attend ADMAT master classes on IMS. And then I would rather say that how you should divide these 5 to 10 mocks. At least 40% of the mocks that you are willing to take should be completed before your CAT exam. Because after CAT exam, especially for your NMAT, for example, or SNAP, you might not get enough time to solve all these 10 mocks. Because after solving, you also need to analyze it. If I talk about SNAP exam, there are what? 3 dates on which it is going to happen. Three times you can take SNAP exam. Now, if you are going to take it on the first date, for example, and if you think that you have not performed well, then you would want to go for the second date or the third date. And SNAP is going to take your best score out of 3, unlike NMIMS, which takes only the very first score of the NMAT exam. Right? So I'm just saying that it is a good idea not to wait till CAT gets over and so on. Right now, you have 20 days, at least 3 to 4 mocks in that. 1 mock every 5 days, one mock. I'm not even saying that 4 mocks each. Maybe you can do 2 to 3 mocks of NMAT, 2 to 3 mocks of SNAP. That should also be enough. And you should be happy. Earlier, there used to be an exam called IIFT, which is no more. Now, IIFT takes CAT score, right? And that also used to happen in December. So basically, as far as pressure is concerned, the pressure is slightly less. So you should take advantage of this situation and prepare for that. Let's take a look at the prep strategy for those who are not taking CAT 2024. Of course, you will have to do everything related to it, which means you have to solve higher difficulty problems. That is going to definitely help because you do not have the option of CAT, so you really want to excel these exams. Build your content till September, and of course start with mocks, which September is already passed as of now when I'm recording this video, and you already know that, we must have counseled you on this thing as well when you were preparing for all these exams but not CAT. Interesting thing is that you have to really focus on building your speed, which is of course in the case of CAT test takers also, but this is where you will get a bit of more time to do that. Solve topic based questions, section based questions, module based questions, take these tests and so forth. Basically, because you are not going to devote your energies to CAT, you have enough time to devote your energies to ADMAT exams, which means you should do everything which is given in your My IMS. Basically, I would say that go for 15 to 20 mocks minimum for each of these exams. Chalo 10 mocks, overall 20-30 mocks, right? Topic wise test you should definitely take, module tests you should definitely take, master classes you should definitely do, previous year papers and questions also you should solve from wherever you can get that. I mean, basically this is just to keep your mind well oiled. Again, the most important thing is mocks and its analysis. So when to start taking mocks? Of course, NMAT right now. SNAP, you can take a couple of these right now and then December onwards. CMAT, so I generally say that if your CMAT is going to happen in April, we'll release the dates as and when we get to know about these dates. Then February onwards is a good time. If it happens in March, then of course January onwards. Similarly for CET, if it happens in May, then January, February would be enough. If it happens say in April, then of course definitely January, right? So this is what you have to say. So what are the IMS resources that you can take a look at? I really want you to pause this video right now and take a look at all these sources and the paths, right? If you are not part of the IMS group, I would say that, at least start with the zero fee program. You are not taken, any money from you, and then we'll give you some of the things so that you can test what is the quality of the material. But then if you really want to upgrade, you can later do that. So one is ADMAT topic tests, which is something you should do. Then you have ADMAT master classes. This is for both CAT test takers and non-CAT test takers. Module test, specifically more for the non-CAT test takers. Then you have module 5 of the CAT courseware. Again, it is for CAT test takers because you have that. Module 5 is dedicated to all those things which are going to come additionally to the CAT preparation to these exams. Then there is Innovation and Entrepreneurship book, which is for your CMAT exam. This book currently has, it will be uploaded in first week of November on the IMS portal. Hard copies have already been dispatched to all those centers where the students were enrolled in these courses. And then GK zone for GK preparation. But other than that, I would also say that in your free time, keep on reading at least one editorial every day. It doesn't take a lot of your time, plus it keeps you updated. And reading GK as set of facts becomes slightly more challenging instead of reading, say, an article, which is more like a story, right? So this is what going to help you deal with all your ADMAT exams. It's now high time that you started your preparation on these, and that's all. See you soon.